When you're standing on the moon, the world doesn't look so big.
Isn't it a beautiful planet?
And full of different people and places.
It's a pretty ball.
Sort of a big blue marble.
What is that? Bonjour. Marhaba. Aslama. Konnichiwa. Go on, say in.
Where in the world are we going today?
I have an idea. Let's go to Canada.
Canada?
Where is Canada? There's Canada. It's the largest country in the Western Hemisphere. Let's go.
Wait.
What's the matter?
You left your light on.
Hello? What's this? The world's largest bathtub from Nanaimo, the bathtub capital of the world. The scene today is the great international bathtub race. Those who have never found any use for bathtubs before can get their revenge today. Cleanliness doesn't count. Leaving a ring for your sister doesn't count. What is important today is the race from Nanaimo to Vancouver in the bathtub of your choice. The first man to set out across this bay in a bathtub minus pontoons, floats, and other frills sank like a rock. And so, certain changes have been permitted to keep afloat.
Oh, it's custom built. Really sturdy tub. Well, won't sink, won't flip or nothing.
That's what he thinks. Is about to start. And as it does, the hopes and fears of bathtubs all over the world are centered on this race.
Well, last year I was racing in the tub there, the green tub, and I was going around. I was pretty far ahead, pretty far in the lead, and I lost my prop. So I lost the race.
Way to go, Wayne.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They're off. And it's Eaton in the lead, followed by Pizza Pieman and Carlson coming up fast. And already the treacherous waters have begun to claim their victims. An unexpected dunking, a lost propeller, a stalled engine, hopes of victory drowned in the drink. Now it's Bismarck to the far, followed by Carlson, Eaton, and Pizza Pieman.
Make sure you're not in the way of that tub. There's no pilot in it.
Oh no! One of the bathtubs is mutinied. It's running away. Call the Navy. Call the Fleet School. Call the Coast Guard. At last, with a daring rescue, the slippery devil's plug is pulled, though it battles to the end. Meanwhile, a few bathtubers have survived the bounding waves and the rolling deep and are now nearing the finish. Blimey, one of them is a girl. But aye, there's the rubby dub-dub. She has to run in her waterlogged wetsuit on shaky sea legs and is tripped by a dastardly male. An ironic ending that a clean victory should be ruined by a dirty trick. And so, as the setting sun slowly sinks in the west, we say glub glub gurgle, which means farewell, bathtubers, until we meet again.
Okay, great.
Did you know that the Philippines is an archipelago?
Not so loud, speaker. Now, where are the Philippines?
Let's ask Big Bluey. Click. Wahoo, that tickles. The Philippines are in Southeast Asia, an archipelago north of Indonesia.
What's an archipelago? Archipelago? Archipopulus?
An archipelago is a group or cluster of islands.
Anong kaya ngayon ang aking gagawin? Di ko
We are on our way to Zamboanga to sell the shells which we have collected. Abdul Salih saw more shells on the bottom. So we dive for them even though they must be dried out in the sun and cleaned before we can sell them. My name is Marita. Abdul and I live on a tiny island about 80 miles from Zamboanga in the Republic of the Philippines. We are of the Bajaus tribe, and our people live almost their whole life at sea, in their boats. Even Abdul and I get nervous if we stay on land too long. We go to the shell factory. Mr. Pelay gives us 1 peso for 2 shells. We have earned 20 pesos today. Do you know what they do with our shells? They make buttons. Buttons for shirts and jackets and other clothing. I asked Mr. Pelay how they can make a beautiful pearly button from a dirty shell. He showed us how it is done. Abdul and I take our money and hurry back to our vinta, which is the name for a canoe in our language. But first, we stop for some fresh fruit. Some to take home and some to eat now. It must be very strange to go to school every day like these children. The school children stare at me and Abdul because they do not often see people of our tribe here in the city. But I would like to be able to read and write and learn the history of our ancestors. Not all of our people live at sea. This is the Rio Hondo, where some of our people live. Even here, they live over the sea, and the houses are built on stilts in the water. And now, we start for our island. It is 8 miles to paddle, which is enough time to sing. Watch a folk tale from Italy, Princess Clothes.
Buongiorno, butterfly. Oh, what a pretty dress you're wearing. Buongiorno, bird. Look at you, all dressed up in your feathered suit and fancy hat. And look at me. It would seem that my clothes and his came from the same closet. Gina? Gina! Yes, Mama. I have just finished the rich signora's dress. You must take it to her at once. Yes, Mama. Scusi, signora.
What is it, ragged, dirty person?
Yeah. Your new dress, signora.
Now what, dusty one?
That minestrone soup smells delicious.
And so it is, grimy urchin. Now, on your way.
And she didn't so much as offer me a spoonful of soup. I ask you, wasn't that polite?
Gina, where are you? Here you are. Today you must deliver the rich signora's hat. It is in my sewing room.
Yes, Mama. La 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 la. Scusi, signora, I have come with your new hat.
Ah, what is this? A contessa, a princess, delivering hats? Que bella! Oh, you must join me for lunch. A little antipasto, some minestrone, spaghetti, zucchini, vil parmigiane, spumoni, mangia, mangia, mangia. Would the bellissima princess like more to eat?
Grazie, signora. Here, Princess Hat. Have some lunch.
What?
And you, Princess Dress, eat hearty.
I don't. Are you feeling all right?
I am feeling fine, thanks to my hat and my dress. Without them, I would not have even a spoonful of minestrone. You did not feed Princess Gina. You fed Princess Claus. Arrivederci, signora.
Gina, did you deliver the... Why, Gina, you look good enough to eat.
Oh, Mama!
Dear Pen Pal, what could be more fun than getting to know other kids in other parts of the world? This is what happens when you decide to become a pen pal. Let me tell you about it. All you have to do is send your name, address, zip code and age, tell us if you're a boy or a girl, what your interests are, and mail it to Dear Pen Pal, Box 4054, Santa Barbara, California, 93103. We'll do the rest. We'll send you the names and addresses of boys and girls in other countries that you can write to. They've said they want to write to you. Once again, send your name, address, zip code and age, and mail it to Dear Pen Pal, Box 4054, Santa Barbara, California, zip code 93103. Making friends is fun, and someday you may meet your pen pal in another country. Pen pal letters can bring us all closer together. But be patient. It takes a long time for letters to go all around this big blue marble.
Gloria! Take this word.
What's the secret of being a good marbles player?
Backspin.
The secret is backspin.
Summer is a time for play, and I am glad to go my way with games, 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 games. There is time to work, and there's time to play. Is there anything wrong? Just who is to say?
In the USA, if you're serious about marbles, this is the place you shoot for. Wildwood, New Jersey, in the National Marbles Tournament, with a $600 scholarship to the winners. 21 kids from all over the country came to play, and now it's down to the finals between 11-year-old Jeff Rice and 14-year-old Larry Kokas. And for the girls, 13-year-old Susan Reagan and Debbie Leineberg. The rules are simple. 13 marbles are arranged in a cross within a circle 10 feet in diameter. The object is to knock 7 marbles out of the ring, and it's your game. 7 in a row is called a stick, and that's what everyone shoots for. On the first shot or draw, you aim for the second marble from the center, and if you're hot, you knock 2 out of the ring. The shooter has to stay inside the circle. The shooters are bigger and heavier, usually made of stone instead of glass like the other marbles. Some players use a dead spin or backspin. Some more of a side spin. If it's windy, you can protect the shooter with your hands.
Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, so we want you to be real good supports on this, and may the best shooter win. So shake hands and come out shooting. Okay, Jeff. Yeah.
Jeff goes first, makes a good draw, leaving himself in good position. Hits again and then has a tough shot. Nice try. And now it's Larry's turn. The winner of 11 out of 21 games will be champion. With an earlier start, Susan leads Debbie 10 games to 6. And could end it right here.
Shake her hand again. He wants to kill me now.
It's always tough to lose.
Congratulations.
In a close match, Larry leads Jeff 10-9, and he's up. He needs one more game. He practices his backspin. He doesn't want to take any chances, and now he's going for broke, hoping for a stick. 7 in a row. He gets 3 on the draw. Four. 5. All Jeff can do is keep his fingers crossed and hope he gets another chance. Larry wins it.
Summer is a time for play, and I am glad to go my way with games. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Having fun, having fun, having fun. It's Tuesday.
Ciao, a bientôt. Arrivederci. Ciao, madame. Hasta la vista. Met hotel. Mata ay maso. Kanakakot ina. Ciao.
When you see it from out there, the sun and moon declare our beauty's very rare. Folks are folks and kids are kids. We share a common aim. We speak a different name, but work and play the same. We sing pretty much alike, enjoy spring pretty much alike. Peace and love we all understand, and laughter we use the very same brand. Our differences, our problems from out there, there's not much trace. Our friendships they can place while looking at the face of the big blue marble in space.
I wish we didn't have to go. We'll be back soon and see lots more places and meet new people on Big Blue Marble.
Welcome, everybody. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to disappear. I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to our lunchtime AV Geek streaming show. That was Big Blue Marble, and that was Program L. There was no other identifier else on the can. That's something I got recently within the last couple of months, and was excited to actually show it to you. I am at the archive. Normally I am in the basement of my house, but my assistant, who's normally at the archive, is on vacation, so I came to the archive and I am starting to show films using the telecine, so it's live premiere stuff. Normally what I show, and I'll be showing some today, are films that I've digitized over the past 10 years that I have files for. And I'll be intermixing those with live stuff I've never seen before. Now, I saw Big Blue Marble when I was a kid. I think one day I stayed home from church because I was sick or whatever, and it was on before sports came on. And that's what I kind of remember, is it was syndicated, and it was very similar to this other program called Animals, which was on ABC, and would show, stuff about animals. So that song, I don't remember it, but it's in my subconscious, and the hairs in the back of my head kind of stood up when I heard it. So this next film we're going to watch is a film about, I think it was a promotional film for home builders. And it's about urban renewal, and I'm sure the houses they built back then are probably really in poor shape right now. So here's Home for Gary.
Newcastle, Pennsylvania. In the heart of steel-producing country, this city of 45,000 is about 50 miles northwest of Pittsburgh, near the Ohio border. Its industries: coal, pottery, manufacturing. Newcastle is similar to many Midwestern towns, even to the Civil War monument in the downtown square. And like many communities, Newcastle was caught in a housing squeeze. A high residential occupancy rate coupled with new family formations aggravated the situation. Many existing houses were substandard. The city's approach to the problem: urban redevelopment. Built by skilled craftsmen of another era, these houses still showed traces of their former opulence. The neighborhood now had very little to recommend it. There was a period when an address in this area along Neshonoc Avenue was a mark of gracious living and status. That time had long since passed. Gary had lived all his 10 years on this block, in a house more than half a century older than he. Now the house would be torn down. The Redevelopment Authority had been explicit about Gary's home. It was not fit for human habitation. What Gary needed now was a place to live. He hadn't really noticed before that his house was in such poor condition. It was no worse than the ones around it. He remembered when the man came to paint the big white X on the front of the house, marking it for demolition. The place had all the infirmities of architectural old age. The floors creaked. Wind blew in around the warped window frames. The water had an orange tinge from the rusty plumbing, and the wiring was archaic, even dangerous. Gary's dad called the place a fire trap. The insurance investigator wasn't quite that diplomatic. Every house on the block had heating bills which could only be called staggering. Now, after years of hard use, these places had to come down. Oh, they would be replaced by new homes in time, but Gary and his family had to find a place to live in the interim. They couldn't afford a motel, and living with relatives for the length of time it takes to build a house was out of the question. Housing was needed immediately. This was the Redevelopment Authority's problem, too. Under present law, families in urban renewal areas cannot be forced to move from their homes unless other homes are made available to them. And the rent charged for these can be no greater than the rent paid for the old homes. Staff executives of the authority visited the homes of the families to be relocated and discussed plans to revitalize the area. During one of these visits, Gary found out where he would live until the new houses were built on Oceanic Avenue. The city was going to put up manufactured houses to serve the families which would be temporarily displaced. At the Redevelopment Authority, plans had to be completed on specifications for the manufactured houses. Not the least among these was cost. They had to work within a realistic budget. Houses had to be built in accordance with building, plumbing, and electrical codes. They also had to meet the zoning regulations of the area where they would be located. Ritz-Craft Incorporated of Argus, Indiana, a subsidiary of the Wicks Corporation, was the successful bidder. Ritz-Craft had demonstrated its ability to produce low-cost sectional housing quickly to meet an urgent need. After the contracts were signed, it would be only 4 or 6 weeks until the new houses, all 18 of them, would be ready for occupancy. At the Ritz-Craft plant in Shamokin, Pennsylvania, modern assembly line techniques applied to the construction industry answered the twin demands of speed and economy. Plans called for 18 sectional houses to be built on what had been a baseball field, now unused. The authority bought the 3.5-acre site. With ideal terrain and good drainage, very little site preparation was required. And so the groundbreaking got underway. Staff architects had laid out the houses so they would be placed on foundations strategically located to give each house the maximum amount of land with an open area in the center. As the excavations were being dug and block laid, the authority maintained a close watch on the operations. They filed frequent photographic reports on the progress. Timing was critical. The foundations must be prepared by the time the first houses began to arrive. When one excavation was completed, concrete was poured and block laid. Then the process was repeated on the next unit. Each phase of site preparation was checked and rechecked. The houses were already under construction at the plant some 200 miles away in Shamokin. Steel frames to transport the sections are being welded. These will be returned to the plant. The completed floor frame is hoisted onto its steel carriage, and the unit prepares to move down the line. At the same time, in another part of the plant, special wooden members are cut in quantity for use later. Farther down the assembly line, plumbing fixtures are put in place and connected. 2x4s are placed in a truss jig. Nail plates are then put over the joints, and hydraulic presses nail the entire truss in a single operation. This process and many others are vital for fast, economical production. As the wall sections move down the line, workmen forego the claw hammer and shoot nails into the studs. But hammers are used when drywall is nailed to the wall sections. While the drywall is being applied, workmen route out the predetermined window openings. When the interior drywall is installed and the openings routed out, the now completed deck section moves into position. Overhead hoists are employed. An entire 52-foot wall section is raised and secured to the deck. Again, timing is critical in the manufacturing operation. Windows, frames, glass. The entire unit is installed. Doors, paneling, spackling, interior painting and appointments, even draperies, are added at successive stations along the assembly line. Exterior siding and roofing go on. Then modern, well-built, imaginatively designed sections roll out of the plant at the rate of 6 a day. The 52-foot-long completed sections are hitched to a Ritz-Craft tractor to begin the 200-mile haul from Shamokin to Newcastle. While construction was underway at the plant, workmen at the Newcastle site were completing their jobs. Supporting members were secured to the foundation. Conduit was laid for electrical and telephone lines, as well as television cable. Water, gas, and sewer lines were installed. Work begins immediately to get the homes onto their foundations as quickly as possible. As soon as it arrives, this Ritz-Craft tractor is unhitched and returns to the plant for another section. Meanwhile, another tractor pulls the sections into position for the final move onto the foundation. Protective plastic sheeting is removed, bearing the open side of the section at the site for the first time. Rollers are placed under the section, and the job of rolling it off its steel carriage and out of the foundation begins. Adjustments assure true positioning on the foundation. Assured of a true lineup, workmen continue to roll the section. With the first section in place, the rollers are removed, and it is permanently secured to the foundation. A detailed inspection assures that the first section is properly placed and secure before work is begun on the final half of the structure. Only then is the second section moved into position beside the foundation. Minor adjustments again assure the section is lined up. The rollers are put into position and, much like a ship being launched, the second section of the house begins to roll. And the two sections are now joined for the first time. The second half is secured to the foundation and sealed at each end. Flashing is nailed over the seal. And the final panels of siding are nailed into place. Ridge cap work is completed, utilities are hooked up, and the house is ready. And a new world opens for Gary. Moving day marks the beginning of a new way of life. Modern technology, imagination, and innovation, coupled with sophisticated manufacturing methods, have met a critical need. Houses such as Gary's are permanent structures which meet the temporary housing needs of relocated families. When Gary's house on Neshonoc Avenue is completed, he and his family will return to a better life than the one they left there. Meanwhile, they can live with dignity in the Ritz-Craft manufactured house, which has all the advantages of conventionally built housing and the added feature of immediate availability. The 18 homes in Newcastle will be used to temporarily house displaced families until the urban redevelopment program is completed. They will then go to a non-profit group and be rented as housing for low-income families. A number of problems still face the manufactured housing industry. The wide disparity in building and zoning regulations makes standardization of the product troublesome. Standardization of these regulations could make hundreds of thousands of new homes more readily available, almost immediately. The scarcity and high cost of financing housing is another difficulty which faces the conventional builder as well as the manufacturer of sectional and modular structures. This is only the beginning.
Let's try that again with turning the mic on. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, so Home for Gary, pre-manufactured homes. Fascinating. This next film, I have a stack of films that I got. I got like 3 batches of film since this pandemic has really kind of kicked in, and I haven't really had a chance to go through them. My assistant has cataloged them, but we just don't really have the time, or he hasn't had the time to go through and watch them. So we're pulling some films and watching them for the first time. So I have no idea. I haven't looked up. All I know is the title. I haven't looked up anything else about it. So hopefully there's not any live birth footage. We'll keep an eye out for that. Because we don't know. All right. So this next one is called... Oh, before I get to that, thank you, Calvin, for donating some coffee, buying coffee for AV Geeks. Most of you, if I haven't reached out to you and you're like, hey, where's my shirt? Can you send me an email at avgeeks@gmail.com? And it was an oversight, so I apologize for that. But most people who are on Patreon, most people who have been donating big chunks of change for coffee, thank you so much. And you can, if you would like a t-shirt, you can buy me $25 worth of coffee and then email in the notes what t-shirt size and the address that we would be shipping to. And the shirts will actually be printed next week. I'm trying to get a tally of the number of sizes. So, yeah. So anyways, this next film we're going to watch is film-based. It's called Meditations.
It's October 15th, 1976. I moved to Columbus, Ohio exactly 400 days ago. From Iowa, from a farm, from a marriage. To a small apartment on the south end of a campus on the north side of a business industrial center. From a life on a range to a life in a room. From a life of rhythms and cycles to a life of repetitions and routines. How to make these repetitions meaningful. How to feel the richness of these routine moments. How to remain a seeing being. 3 times a day, for example, I've walked my dog. How to make these moments count. Of choice and of necessity, my life has become a meditation on things overlooked. Four to 16 corners per walk, often repeated. It's not hard to assess Jane's response to corners. Each one an opportunity, a new event. Each one presents the possibility of a tasty squirrel. And that's what heaven's all about. Jane and I walk. 400 days, 1,200 walks, 10 million steps. Too many steps overlooked, too many worlds missed, and I've begun to wonder, how many worlds to an inch? How many worlds to a room? Skull, Plato, Iowa, 1973. 300 acres of hills and woods and an occasional skeleton picked clean. Marriage, stability. Pinecone, Big Sur, spring, 1975. A time of great change, of flight. Every object pregnant with confused meaning. Confusion, mythopoesis. Poster, Columbus, spring, 1976. I screened it for a showing of my films. Self-confidence, creativity, energy. Rose Tray, Clinton, New York, 1970. Junk in an old barn, our first home, in the country, innocence. Etching, Iowa City, 1974. A gift from a B to S&H green stamps. Hope. Spoon, Zacatecas, Mexico, summer 1976. A trip with my brother. A coming close. Warmth. Friendship. Bowl, Iowa City, 1973. Susan Spread Bowl. Not used much now. Nostalgia. Loss. Gum by Chromate, Plato, 1974. Hour spent upstairs while Susan downstairs works to make these chicken images appear. Curiosity. Growth. Child Silkscreen, Columbus, 1976. For the Community Festival, a time 1,200 walks, 12,000 times I've seen this alley. I've looked closely and I've barely glanced. Daytime, nighttime. And now this nothing alley is in my blood. And now looking at it is as much a looking in. Come on, Jane, let's take a walk. And so to begin to feel the richness of these routine moments, to begin to make these repetitions meaningful, to try to remain a seeing being.
So you're probably like, actually, Skip, we'd prefer that you watch the film first before you show it to us. That was a fascinating film. Definitely an art project. Thanks to the Ohio Arts Council for that grant for that film. And the music was by Pulsar, which is pretty great. Yeah, I don't know what I get. And obviously that wasn't made for kids. That was meant to be shown to adults, I guess. Yeah, sure. Some great street footage, though. That was kind of cool. So a bunch of thank yous to people who've bought me coffee. And enough coffee that they'll actually get T-shirts. So Ross, Juliet, and Stephanie. Thank you so much. for your support. Caffeine is what makes AV Geeks go. Today I cheated a little bit and actually went to Bojangles, which is a regional fried chicken place, and got some of their insanely sweet iced tea. It's because I'll give a little backstory. So I live near two lakes, and there's a road that goes between the two lakes, and they're actually like ponds. They're not really big, but every time we get crazy rain, turtles decide that they're going to go from one lake to the other, and so there are a lot of smushed turtles, which is heartbreaking. So today, I actually en route to work, I saw 2 turtles, and I picked them up and moved them across the way in the direction they were heading, and put them on the grass. And one of them hissed at me. One year, it was like last year, maybe, there was a snapping turtle that was basically, I would say, probably 1.5 feet in diameter. And that was a challenge, but I figured out a way to I was going to give it a stick to bite down on, and then I was going to pick it up, but it turned out that I could pick it up without it reaching me, so I got it by the middle and took it across. So anyways, I felt empowered by saving 2 turtles' lives, and so felt like I deserved bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits and iced tea. Those of you from North Carolina will understand the importance of Bojangles. And maybe some of you on the East Coast. I'm not sure. Anyways, I warned everybody about this earlier via comments. It seems like some people on YouTube have aversions to clowns and mimes. And it's for good reason. This next film doesn't just feature a mime, but it features a mime that leads children to death. Multiple horrible, harmful deaths. And so let's watch that, because it's awesome. No, it's not. We don't get to see the gruesome deaths, but it is a cautionary tale, and it features a mime. And at the very end, the mime recounts all the things that it did, and it expresses remorse. So here's Safe Play, Dangerous Places.
The Mime, Mitch Young Evans. First Boy, Anthony Newman. Second Boy, Stephen Grafing. Two Girls, Doreen McRae, Marianne White. Three Boys, Robert Vittorio, Alex Numez, Carl Ruth. The Littlest Girl, Kathy Moonitz.
A moment of silence for for that. It's so fascinating that the screen keeps changing, like when I visit it. So, thank you, Garth, for buying us enough coffee so we get a T-shirt. In case you were wondering, this is what the shirt looks like. This is a brand new color, mildly new design. This is an illustration made by Jason Poland, who's a longtime AV Geeks fan who passed away last year. Very young, too young to pass away. But he designed this for us, and this is on a charcoal shirt. Traditionally, it was on a chalkboard green or a school bus yellow shirt, and only diehard fans would really get those shirts. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. If you're interested in one of these, try to place it the order today or tomorrow, because I'd like to get back to them and get the right sizes. When I'm on tour, I always run out of mediums, but it seems like we're skewing to the larger sizes, which is fine. Doesn't matter to me. All right, so time for another film. This one is made by our friends at the Church of Latter-day Saints, part of their education department. It's called Measure of a Man. Enjoy. Wait. Not too many screens here. Enjoy.
doesn't seem possible that Mike's so big and so grown up. His tricycle out there. And now here he is in high school, interested in sports and girls. Wonder if Mike's ever kissed a girl. I mean, seriously. I don't think so. He's such a quiet boy. Still, his father was pretty interested in girls. But Mike seems to take after my side of the family.
Stop that! You'll break something. Mike Miller, don't you dare leave that ball lying around. If you do, I'll hide it.
Come on. It's all you and Dad could say. Stop this and stop that.
Well, I have to. If someone around here didn't put the brakes on, the place would be a shambles. But I love you.
Mom, I'm going down to the drive-in for a root beer. Be back about 10.
Who are you going with, Mike?
Hal and Blaine, I guess.
Well, why don't you invite them over here for root beer? There's plenty in the fridge.
This guy's got to get out of the house once in a while. What's wrong with Hal and Blaine, anyway?
I have nothing against those boys, but I've heard stories about their reputation. If you're going out with their kind, you should be able to control the circumstances. That's why we...
Just rumors. They're good guys. Quit worrying, Mom. I'll be home early. What's Mom worrying about? I can handle Hal and Blaine. Trouble is, you never know what those characters will come up with next. Man, they're a lot of fun. Wonder how come mothers know so much. Mom seems to have a regular built-in radar when it comes to finding things out. But she's okay.
Hey, the cop!
Three lousy root beers. These fresh kids won't even be good for a nickel tip. My mother told me there'd be days like this. Oh, my feet are killing me. There you go, fellas. Anything else?
Yeah. Matter of fact, there is. What time you get off work, Dolly?
Long past your bedtime, Sonny.
Yeah, babe, but how about me? No kidding. Wouldn't you like to meet three fine men?
Yeah, but where are they?
Hey, I like you. Seriously, when do you get off?
Sorry, Duke. The Duchess is going out with a prince tonight.
You like her anyway. Never mind. Let's try up to Harpersville. I know some wild girls up there that make this one look like an Airedale. What say, Mike?
Well, I don't know. Promised Mom I'd be home early.
You promised Mom.
I never promised my Mom nothing. She's glad if I even come home at all.
They'll be 31 with the tax.
31? I don't have that kind of money. Do you have that kind of money?
Are you serious? I don't have that kind of money. Do you have that kind of money, Mike? All I got is Confederate money, sugar. Will that do?
Keep the change,
Hey!
Princess.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Come again.
Hey, that's my money.
Don't be so mercenary.
Yankees.
Man, this is living. A fast car, a good old Howland plane. Not a thing to worry about. Of course, there's Mom at home worrying about me. Ah, she's got nothing to worry about. I can handle these guys. Nobody can make old Mike do anything he doesn't want to do. I don't know much about wild girls. Might be educational, though. Man, this owl drives fast, especially around these curves. Gives me the jumps. Step on it, man. We haven't done all night.
Wacky or something? Here I am just barely making these turns now, and he says step on it. A big talker, huh? I'll show him. He doesn't know it, but after we pick up the girls, we're heading for Eagle City to get some beer. Then we'll see what kind of a big talker he is.
What's the matter with both of these guys? Are they nuts or something? Going around these curves like this. As it is, someday I'll have to uncurl my toes. And then Big Mike here tells them to step on it. Go, man, go!
Oh, yeah, what's up, please? Can't believe it's doing. I got something else, please. Hey, there she is now. Guess the others haven't come yet. Psst, get back. She's coming this way.
Why, Hal, you big doll. I was afraid you weren't coming.
Becky, I want you to meet a couple buddies. This is Mike Miller, and this twerp here is Blaine Hall.
Hey, what, you hot dog? Do you know what those darn guys did? They dropped my tip in this mold and expect me to fish it out.
We don't tip like that, do we, Mike? You want Mike and I should go cream him?
You two go ahead, I'll referee.
Oh, no, please don't, Hal. I'd lose my job. Those guys are good customers. Oh, goody, here come Sue and Jackie. Now we can have some fun. Sue and Jackie, I'd like you to meet Hal and Mike and Blaine.
Hi.
I'm with Hal. Oh, this is great. Listen, kids, I'm off shift now, so I'll go put on my face and be right back. Don't anybody move and we'll have a ball. Come on, Hal, I want you to meet my boss.
Hey, baby, sit right here.
All right, I will.
That's what I mean. Man, how does a guy get involved in a crazy deal like this anyway? These chicks are not the greatest. I can't believe Sue's this kind of a girl. Wonder if I ought to call Mom. Maybe I can slip over to the phone there and call her and tell her I'll be a little later than I figured. Excuse me, please. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, sure enough, Mike. Hello, operator. I'd like to place a call to Oakland. The number there is Hillcrest
44381.
Hey, tell Mom hello for us, dearie.
Your number, please.
Never mind, operator.
Listen, I got the greatest idea. Let's beat it up to Eagle City. I know we can get some beer.
Sounds like a good idea.
How about it, Mike?
Well, I don't know. Why don't we stay here in Drag Main? This seems like a cool place.
I thought so. The powder puff. What's the matter, buddy? You chicken?
Listen, Hal.
Mike is not chicken. Are you, Mike? And just to prove it, he's going along to Eagle City and have just one little teeny-weeny beer.
Let's talk out of this place, gang.
Okay, let's go. Go. Wait a minute.
Pronto, lads, lassies, let's go.
Hiya, Boo.
What am I gonna do now? I don't want any beer. I don't want it forced on me either. But what do you do when a guy calls you chicken? That's a bad word. What am I gonna say when old Hal sticks that bottle of beer in my hand? I'd like to hit him with it, but that makes me chicken, I guess.
Where in the world is that boy? If I wake John, he'll be furious with him. And yet, 1 o'clock. He said he'd be home at 10. It isn't like Mike not to keep his word. Oh, I wish he wouldn't go with that Hal and Blaine. What if he's hurt? Maybe I better call the hospital or the police. No, that would wake John.
John, dear. John, are you awake?
What's the matter?
It's past 1 o'clock, and Mike isn't home yet. He said he'd be home by 10. Oh, John, I'm so worried.
Come to bed. He's a good boy. He'll come home. He's probably down at the library. 1 o'clock?
Hey, where do you kids think you're going this time of night?
It's not where we're going, officer. It's where we've been. We've just come from a church social.
Oh, okay. Then drive careful. Church social, my eye.
All right. All in. Oh, I did not have any facts about the car.
Driver, tell you guys what. You go on in. Sue and I want to talk.
Talk? That's the best one I ever heard.
Yeah, baby, let's talk.
Stop it, Tarzan. When I want to hear from you, I'll rattle your cage.
Okay. You two stay here. The owner's a friend of mine who thinks I'm 21. He'll sell me some beer and we'll bring it out.
Don't be gone too long. It's getting late.
Oh, that's right. We gotta get you home to Mother.
One more crack like that and I'll mop up the street with you.
Okay, buddy. I'm sorry.
How did I ever get mixed up with this bunch of creeps? Dad'd have a fit if he knew where I was with. Probably will anyway. I don't know what spell this Peggy has over me. This Mike's cute, but he's probably wild. If he tries anything, I'll just die. Nice evening, huh?
Yeah, it is. Man, if I ever heard a hint, this girl probably nicks like crazy. Well, I'll fool her. I wonder what's holding those guys up.
I believe that's them now. Oh, boy. Beer. Beer. Ugh. I can't think of anything worse. But I don't want this cute guy to think I'm... Oh, whatever am I gonna do?
Here you go. 2 cans of juice.
Wait, Hal. We'll open our own.
Okay, so you do it yourself. You two get started and we'll be out in a minute. There's a crazy guy in there doing card tricks. Wild, man.
Besides, these two would rather talk.
Thanks.
Brewed by our original process from the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt.
Well, what are hops?
Stuff that gives it the kicker, I guess. Have you ever noticed how a beer can sweats? A beer can sweats? What about me?
Yeah, in funny little streaks.
I was just thinking, how many cans of beer do you suppose are being opened all over the world right now? Right this very minute.
Well, probably thousands if you count Germany and Switzerland.
Yeah, and Holland, and Luxembourg. Okay, buddy, this is it. What are you gonna do now? If you punch a hole in this can, you've got to drink some of this stuff. And if you don't, this little chick here will think you're a real clod. Man, if Dad could see me now.
What a spot to be in. I don't any more want to drink than fly to the moon. Boy, how I wish I were home in bed. What a picture. Little old me with a can of beer in my hand. And yet, if I don't at least taste it, Mike'll think I'm chicken. Wish I could remember what Dad said to do in a situation like this. Gosh, I ought to call him and tell him I'm okay. I'll bet he's in a tizzy. Well, what are you waiting for? Aren't you going to open it?
The little lush. Can't wait to get drunk. Your father's probably a drunkard, too. Yeah, sure.
If you're going out with their kind, you should be able to control the circumstances.
You know something, Sue? I'll open your can of beer, but I'm not going to open one for me.
You're not? You're not?
That's right. I don't drink.
Oh, I don't either. I hate beer and wine and any kind of liquor.
If you don't like beer and the rest of that stuff, you better get on the phone and call that senior citizen of yours and tell him you'll be home soon.
You mean Dad? I'd rather talk to Mom.
This ought to hold us for a while. You guys drink yours?
No, and we're not going to drink yours either, Hal.
What do you mean?
Just what I said.
That's right, Hal.
How do you like that? We drive all the way up here and... Looks like you and me are going to have to kill most of this, then.
Well, it's a funny thing, Hal, but I kind of got a pain right here in my side, and, well, maybe we better skip this time. Do you mind, Hal?
Oh, I'll take a can. I hear it's great to wash your hair in.
Listen, we got to drink it. I can't take it back in there after all the trouble I had getting it. Well, that guy'll think I'm a...
Go ahead and say it. Chicken. Sue and I have got to make a couple phone calls. You're going to drink all that?
Well, no, I mean, you guys aren't going to drink. I don't want to...
Here, I'll take it back. Everybody knows I'm chicken. Besides, I want to get my money back.
Phew, that was close. We almost had all those teenagers drinking probably very low alcohol beer because of peer pressure. Wow, that's pretty great. I had heard about this film, and I just found it in one of those batches that I just got. And you can tell by all the scratches. It's been shown a lot. And it was actually... so I got it from New York, but New York got it from North Carolina, from Raleigh. There was a Department of Human Resources... let's see if I can find it. Department of Human Resources Film Library. And that was actually where I got my first big batch of 500 films back in the day. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, we have to watch this. But you can tell it was checked out a lot and shown a lot to teenagers over the years. Thanks everybody for tuning in today and contributing to the AV Geeks by buying us coffee. Again, if you are interested in getting a t-shirt, if you buy us $25 or more, you can get a t-shirt when we get them printed next week. Just to say again, here's what they look like. Bam. But you don't have to contribute to AV Geeks. Just having you tune in and contribute means a lot, and I'm delighted to be showing you stuff that I have not seen before. Even if it's boring and mediocre, it's still a joy to discover these films and kind of premiere them to the 21st century. That's what we're doing. Yes, we're time traveling. We're going from the past to the forward, to the future, to the 21st century, to show you these wonderful films. I'm sorry, wonderful films. I'm air quoting a lot. But thank you for joining us on this journey, this voyage, this discovery. And we will be back again tomorrow, 1 o'clock. We hope to see you then. Have a good rest of the day. I'm excited because I'm going through a bunch of TV commercials that this company went through, and maybe I'll show these later this week. Stay safe. We love you. You guys take care. Bye.